Yes, 142 people seems an awful lot to have to do a speech to, so I just hope you're all as drunk as I wish I was right now. Hello everybody, I'm John, and I'm one of the three best men, along with Tom and Jack. We are the ones that look like Mumford & Sons. Fans of the English language will know that there can only be one best of something. You can have a few good men, Tom Cruise will tell you that, but only one best man. So I'll leave it up to you to decide who is the best man. Perhaps you can decide while I do the speech. On my own. The best man speech. Sorry, I'm not looking at any of you, sorry about that. William Butler. I've known Will now for 22 years, whereas Kim, on the other hand, has only known him for 9 years. It's not a competition, but if it was, I would win. Twice. I think that having known Will for 13 more years than Kim, I have more of a right to be marrying him than she does. I'm not saying I want to, but I would have at least liked first refusal. Although, if you continue with that logic, Will's parents have known him the longest and will move swiftly onwards. Me, Tom and Will went to an all-boys school, which meant that me and Tom never had any female friends. Yes, I'm taking Tom down with me. But Will always seemed to be surrounded by girls. He was a real ladies' man. The only time girls ever spoke to us was to ask if Will fancied them. No, sorry, that's not true. Girls never spoke to us. I only wish those girls could see me now. Just think of what they'd say. Oh my God, is that Will Butler next to John? But being friends with Will wasn't all bad. He did one thing for me that I'll never forget. An act of a true friend, a life-changing intervention. Yes, when I was about 13, Will gave me my first ever porno mag. And I've never been able to repay him for that. Will, in front of your parents, grandparents, and your new family, thank you. Kim, you have just married a man known in the Salisbury area for disseminating pornographic material to underage boys. Although, to be fair, I did most of the disseminating myself. Now, I'd like to get serious for a minute and talk about something that Will did 20 years ago that we've never spoken about. I think that his wedding, with hundreds of witnesses, is the perfect time to bring it up. The year was 1994. We were in Cub Scouts together, and we took part in a five-a-side football tournament against all the Cub Scout groups in Salisbury. We made it to the final against Laverstock. Now, I'm sure I don't need to tell you the reputation that Laverstock Cub Scouts five-a-side team have in Salisbury. After 90 minutes and extra time, it was down to penalties. England's Achilles heel. Laverstock is geographically closer to Germany and therefore had the upper hand. Our best players went first. Tom smashed his penalty home. The coach asked for volunteers, and William Joseph Butler stepped forward. He had to score to keep us in the game, but he scuffed it. And the time it took for the ball to reach the goalie's hands, the tunnel was built. That was in '94, I checked. It was all over. Not only had we lost the match, our dignity, and our self-esteem, I had lost faith in my friend, Will Butler. To remind us of our failure, we were each given one of these. This was a runners-up trophy. Sorry, I can't, it's very hard to hold things. Yeah, hold that. Thank you. This is the only trophy I have ever won in my entire life. And it is sat on my bedroom shelf for the last 20 years, reminding me how my so-called friend Will betrayed me. Only now, at the age of 29, am I able to ask you, will you apologise for this stain on my childhood?
I am truly sorry.
Yeah. Sure is, yeah. Now, if I can ask you all to put that behind you, even though I can't, we'll move on. The first time I met Kim, her arm was in a sling because she'd just fallen off the Great Wall of China whilst going to the toilet. And I believe it was around that time that Will realised Kim was the one for him. He realised he was never going to meet another girl who was falling off a bigger wall whilst going to the toilet. Sorry, that is literally impossible. When other people's girlfriends fall off walls whilst going to the toilet, the name of the wall doesn't begin with Great Wall Off. When other people's girlfriends fall off walls whilst going to the toilet, they aren't visible from space. No, when other people's girlfriends fall off walls whilst going to the toilet, they were walls built to contain a park or a garden. They weren't built to protect the Chinese Empire or its prototypical states against military incursions by various warlike forces. Thanks Wikipedia for that one. So that explains why Will loves Kim, but why does Kim love Will? I've got some theories. At school, Will excelled in French and Spanish, and he studied languages at university. From travelling, he's picked up many more. I believe Kim is attracted to Will because he is a cunning linguist. Check it out, check it out. His is a tongue of many talents. An attractive quality in a man, I'm sure you'll agree. Also, Will is a talented swimmer. As a kid, he competed at county level. See, when Will found out that, when Kim found out that Will was amazing at breaststroke, it sealed the deal. He really is marriage material. But although Will is a big person, and has a name that can be easily shortened to Willie, no girl has ever deemed it appropriate to nickname him using the most obvious combination of those facts. And anyone who was at the ceremony last week will know that Kim's favourite body part of Will's is his big arms. That says it all. Poor Willie. Some men would try to make up for such a deficiency by buying a fancy sports car. Did I mention that Will works for Jaguar Land Rover? On one of Will and Kim's expeditions in Africa, Kim had a worm crawl into her leg. Let's all take a moment to visualise that. She had it for days and would sleep with it moving around underneath her skin. Now, Kim could have taken tablets to deal with it immediately, but she didn't want to, so she lived with it for a while. Which made me think, if Kim was willing to sleep with a worm in her leg, what does that say about Will? I don't know how many of you know this, but Kim's middle name is Flora. So if Kim chooses to take Will's surname, Kim will become Kim Flora Butler. That's a play on Flora Butter. It's a tenuous one. And I'm sure you'll agree she's put on a lovely spread. But if Kim doesn't take Will's surname, she'll have to put up with him constantly saying to her, "I can't believe you're not Butler." It's worth explaining. At first, when Will proposed to Kim, she got cold feet. But that will happen if you choose to propose in Iceland. As some of you will know, Kim is a northerner. And I think we've all coped remarkably well with that. Especially Kim. I've been as welcoming as possible to her because I believe that people should be treated as if they are equal. Will is from the south, where we enjoy certain pleasures, such as correct pronunciation and the sun. Apologies if some of you here don't know what that is. They've now settled down and bought a house in the Midlands. A little fact about the Midlands I found on Wikipedia is that the only reason anyone lives there is because Northerners marry Southerners and they have to compromise on where to live. The only reason. Now, I don't want to say it at a wedding, but I'm a child of the D word. And in case you don't know what I mean, it's a word that rhymes with resource. It starts with a D and ends with only seeing your kids on weekends. Because of this, when I see people getting married on Facebook, I like to play the "How long will it last" game. Come on, I know you've played it. But with Will and Kim, there's no need for cynicism. This is where I get slow. Will and Kim are the most perfectly matched couple of anyone I know.
Yep.
Yeah. Good him. Good him.
They've driven truckloads of annoying tourists across continents together for months on end, run chalets for truckloads of posh idiots together for months on end, and lived in the Midlands together for months on end. All experiences that will push a human to its very limits. And yet Kim and Will always come out smiling, with boundless energy to keep doing more crazy stuff together, to continue making everyone else feel bad for not experiencing their life to the fullest. But I think that if you'd met your Will, then you'd be able to cope with a worm crawling inside your leg, or recover from falling off the Great Wall of China whilst going to the toilet. And if you'd met your Kim, you'd be able to live with the unending embarrassment of missing that penalty in the Salisbury Cubs football tournament all those years ago. Thank you, Kim, for all the wonderful Percival fests, and I look forward to many future Butler fests.
Yay!
Thank you for creating the whiskey hat. I hope to be reacquainted with it later. And thank you for taking Will off the market 9 years ago and giving everyone else a chance. Will, thank you for always staying in touch no matter what country you're in. Thank you for helping me kiss a girl for the first time by distracting her slightly hotter friend. True story, we didn't have time for. That's the gist of it. And thank you for marrying someone who we love spending time with.
Yeah.
But most importantly, it gives me great pleasure to say, on your wedding day, as your best man, thank you, William Butler, for the porno mag. I know that whatever I wish Kim and Will for the future, their life together will surpass it tenfold. So it just leaves me to ask you all to raise your Jaeger shots to Kim and Will.
To Kim.